Do you know that the current King of England is the 88th generation of Cleopatra? Hence, for over 2,000 years, they have been keeping it in the family by having cousins marry cousins. Do you know that the entire European monarchy are related to each other? And every president is also related to the European monarchy? And they all have their roots in ancient Egypt. So let's read. And respecting Zion, it will be said, each and every one was born in her, including Satan. And the Most High himself will firmly establish her. So where's Zion? And who is the Most High?
He became emperor on November 2nd, 1930, and was crowned Haile Selassie I, King of Kings, King of Zion.
In other words, the king of Ethiopia is the king of Zion. Because Zion is just another name for Ethiopia. So what is this? The world's longest walk. The longest road in the world to walk is from Cape Town, South Africa to Magadan, Russia. No need for planes or boats. There are bridges. It is 22,387 kilometers and it takes 4,492 hours to travel. It would be 187 days walking nonstop or 561 days walking 8 hours a day. Along the route, you will pass through 17 countries, 6 time zones, and all seasons of the year. In other words, you could have walked from the tip of the continent of Ethiopia all the way to the end of Asia.
Top geneticists in China who now stated that their first ancestor in China was an African, and every Chinese carries the DNA. The East Indians have already done this. Mexicans have done it. So you mean to tell me the people in the diaspora who look the most like the African,
Studies show that modern Europeans' genetic makeup only appear after 3000 BC. This means that prior to that date, there were no genetical modern Europeans on Earth. This also means that Europe can be the builders of any civilizations that appeared before 3000 BC, since it didn't exist yet. Because who was here? Remember, we are all Ethiopians.
Did you know that centuries before Columbus's ships navigated to the Americas, Ethiopians had already set foot on South American soil? This chapter of history, hidden beneath the surface of conventional narratives, is brought to light through compelling epigraphic evidence found across South America. In Cuenca, Ecuador, the treasure trove of inscribed artifacts collected by Father Carlo Crespi tells a story of ancient connections. Among these artifacts, a gold sheet catches the eye, not just for its luster, but for the pyramid image and Ethiopian letters etched at its base. This remarkable piece, alongside a stone tablet adorned with Ethiopian writing and imagery of 3 animals, and another featuring a stone pyramid, crowned with an elephant and sun symbol with Ethiopian characters nestled within bridges continents. These symbols, elephants and lions, staples in Meroitic and Aksumite art but rarities in Egyptian, narrate the lives of farmer soldiers and travelers from a land far from the Andes. The Palpa Mountain inscription near Nazca, Peru, further cements this transcontinental saga, written in Ge'ez and
Ge'ez. All Bibles are translated out of the Ethiopian original tongues, which was written in Ge'ez. And Ge'ez is the oldest language on earth. Therefore, Ethiopia is the first civilization.
Ancient Ethiopian script. This inscription unveils a directive that echoes through millennia. Come down into the earth and spread this. Strain and pacify the water in the area. Come and spread within this region. Grace. Go out among the land and become strong. The Nascadex organization's refinement of this decipherment deepens its call. Come, carve dig down into the earth, pacify, control, and increase the waters.
And if you don't know, Ethiopia is the first to have pyramids. Because an Egyptian was called a disobedient Ethiopian. Did you know this?
You ever been to Victoria's Secret? Victoria's Secret? Have you asked where you buy your clothes? Why is it a secret? You should ask that before you go back. Now, it's a secret because Queen Victoria was the man. How many of y'all knew that? Okay? That's why.
How many know that the European monarchy were black and they were the ones enslaving people from the continent of Ethiopia? But they repainted them white, so it appears that they were white instead of black crime or black on black crime.
I see. If I'm a man posing as a queen, I got to wear women's drawers. That's what the secret is about. And you older folks, you remember that King Cole? Oh, Lisa. Lisa. Do you know they just found out 15 years ago that was Da Vinci? He was a drag queen. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that? Huh? I don't see. Yeah, you knew it, huh? See that? He was a drag queen. And
Batty boy. And they're trying to change their history, but they can't change their history. They can repaint and do whatever they want, but this is the facts.
Their presence in South America before the arrival of Europeans challenges our understanding of history, suggesting a world where oceans were not barriers but pathways to new realms of knowledge and connection. The story of these Ethiopian voyagers is a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration that defines humanity.
Ethiopians were first, so now they're trying to classify Ethiopians as Caucasians because they knew that Ethiopia was first, so they're trying to change up everything. But either way, this is what they did.
How did majority of the world going from looking like this to this within just 100 years or so? That, my friend, would be down to something called eugenics. Francis Galton, an English statistician, demographer, ethnologist, and genocidal maniac, as I would particularly call him, and also a cousin of Charles Darwin. If the world was so black, where did they all go? Where did all the black people go then? Well, this, eugenics, played a major factor in that. They literally bred out the black. See, this is one of the many roots of racism, discrimination, and stereotypes towards people of colour and towards people with disabilities. And it will continue to affect us until people realise that some scientific claims just aren't real and are made up to suit the victors of the new world that we live in. And even if the eugenics movement didn't make it to your country, the idea behind it definitely did. It's affected the way that we view one another, especially how some non-people of colour view people of colour. This whole eugenics movement was the epitome of white supremacy. And I'd like to end this video with an article I found about breeding out the black blood in Australia. So this article was made in 1934. The headline was Breeding Out Black Blood, Scientists' Views on Perth Doctor's Suggestions, Intermarriage Question. Dr. Cyril Bryan of Western Australia said...
And that's what happened in Europe to the European monarchy. Because we all know during the medieval times, Europe was controlled by blacks. So what did the blacks do? They basically intermarriage with the whites. So when you see Charles today, he will look like he's white. But if you go back, he's from ancient Egypt, which is Ethiopia.
Steps should be taken to reduce the half-caste population of the state by scientifically breeding out the black blood by marrying them to persons with a greater proportion of white blood. Here it said,
King James was black, and we all know they were black. We're going to see it in the next video. This is just part one.
They painted very dark. But in many books after 1453, they painted white. Why? You had famous iconoclasts, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, 3 Ninja Turtles. They were hired to paint over these images. When I went to Rome and the Vatican, and I saw the Sistine Chapel, he was hired to paint biblical characters, Caucasian men. Why? So that when a lot of people begin to read the history of the Israelites and Jews, they would think that they were Caucasian. That's why. That's it.
Hello. Time to wake up.
Destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original and who is the copy. Destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original.